Dale Earnhardt Jr., car owner of the race-winning number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. Dale, kind of talk about what you saw from Chase tonight, and even Josh Berry, who we just had in here with a career best run.
Yeah, Chase did a great job. They've been working real hard all year trying to get to winner circle, and so I know that's a big relief for those guys to realize their potential, because we had some pretty high hopes for them when we paired up Chase and Ernie, and it's been a difficult season for them, but I think that they may be starting to get their legs and start to maybe make a run and put some pressure on these guys. But it's a fun, it's a good track for us. We've ran pretty good here over the last several trips, and I was expecting us to have a good run, but once our guys started nosing around toward the lead and leading laps, it got the reality that we might actually get a win tonight became possible. So it was cool. I know Regan would have liked to finish better, but he had a good run too. It really just comes down to where you are on those restarts, sort of getting boxed in on the bottom, or how good you can handle racing guys on the top and what have you, and just didn't quite work out there late in the race for him. Josh did all we asked for, really. I mean, I told him that when we came here with Jeffrey a couple years ago, that Jeffrey was in the top 10 late in the race, and he had a great shot at a good finish, and he did everything we asked him to do, and that's what I expected of Josh. And he did a great job. He's showed his inexperience on and off pit road, but with more racing and more opportunity, he's going to improve there. But he did showcase his ability and show that in a good car that he's capable of running with these guys. So we'd love to get him more opportunities to race. It just really comes down to finding a partner that wants to handle the expense to take the car to the racetrack on the weekend, because I'm ready to race Josh every week. We just got to find a partner that's excited to be on board with Josh.
Okay, we're going to open it up to questions. Please raise your hand, state your name and affiliation. We'll bring a mic to you. Right up here to Lewis.
Dale, is this year any more difficult than other years in finding sponsorship? Is there a trend?
It's not really more difficult. You kind of just got chips start falling and people start moving around, and you kind of see what options are out there and what looks good and what's exciting. It's never been easy trying to find the right fit for a guy like Josh. A lot of these, the best thing that Josh could do is to try to develop the relationships with these partners early. He's done that with Speedcode. They've been a great partner of his in the late model program. And we had this race open, and we wanted to race Josh in it. And so this Speedco on the car was more of a repay of a favor to them for all they've done for our late model program and what they've done to help Josh. So Josh doesn't really have any connections at the moment to a partner that could fund Xfinity car, but hopefully tonight he's turned some heads, and maybe the phone will start ringing next week, and with some people that are interested in being getting behind his career and helping him realize his potential. He's like a lot of these guys that they're just one sponsorship away from being able to make a living as a race car driver in the Xfinity Series and moving on to the Cup Series eventually one day. I mean, he's got the talent and the ability, and I'm telling you, he's just one domino away. And if that domino falls and we can pair him up and get the funding, then I think it's something that will work, and he would be able to make it work. As far as as late, well, we like to get things done before the end of the year. My sister could talk more about that than I can as to why we get into a bit of a hustle mode. Not so much panic, but we start hustling through this time and through September, We really don't like to be open-ended and not have everything wrapped up by December. And sometimes, though, you have to just wait. Sometimes the options and opportunities aren't there, and you just have to wait. And sometimes things come together very late. And but we plan to run 3 cars next year, and if the right opportunity came along, we'd run 4. I mean, we feel like we're a healthy company, and if we have the funding to do it, we know how to do it in a budget. And we'd be excited to race Josh if we could get that opportunity, because he showed tonight what kind of exciting and good race car driver he has a potential to be. I'm not saying he can go to Chicago next week and have the same exact performance, but in time, I mean, that he's shown he can drive the car and has the speed, and in time he would learn the intricate parts of racing at the mile and a half and getting on and off pit road and so forth.
Yep. We'll swing it to Dustin here and then over to Chris.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Dale, you talked about, in Josh's case, maybe a performance is good enough to, somebody sees it tonight that it can lead to a sponsorship. Outside looking in, from my point of view, that almost sounds like it's almost equating with somebody winning the lottery. How realistic, how rare? And again, I understand all it takes is one time, but I mean, is this like rolling the dice, living on a prayer type of thing, or really how realistic is something like that?
It is what it is. I mean, we got him here tonight. We hoped he could run good. I know he can do it. He's won races in my late model for a couple of years. He's had a great partner with Speedcode that we brought on board for this event just to showcase their relationship. I mean, this was sort of a Hail Mary pass in a sense. And, we don't know. The thing about it is we 4 months ago, we can't look that far in the vision in the future and see the opportunity to race Josh at Richmond. We can't plan to race Josh at Richmond from 4 months ago, so we can't plan when the next opportunity is. We don't know. We have to wait till we have to wait till we run up on an unsponsored event and sort of weigh the options and see what's best for the company first. We'd love to get Josh in as many races as we can. We also have Ben Rose that's in the mix that we'd love to work with, and you just have to see what the opportunity is. And it worked out for Josh to be able to get into the car, and he did as good as he could, aside from winning the race, obviously. But that would have been a dream come true. That would have definitely been hitting the lottery. But I think he did a great job, and you never know who might have been watching the race tonight. And you never know who might want to be involved in a company like JR Motorsports, or even not knowing there's an opportunity. There's a lot of people out there that may assume we're full and that we've got all the sponsors and partners that we need. Someone might see that there's an opportunity and call us up or show some interest in Josh and furthering his career.
We'll go Chris and then Bob.
Chris Knight, catchfans.com. Dale, is Speedco a strong enough company where they could see what kind of exposure they received tonight and step up to the plate with them or their vendors and help Josh for 2016?
I can't speak for Speedco, but I don't think that they're in the position to fund an Xfinity team. I think what they've done what they've done with our late model program has been pretty substantial, and it's really helped Josh a lot, and it's been something that they're very comfortable with and happy with, and they love the exposure that they've gotten at that level, being able to race at the local tracks, and that's probably a little more in their wheelhouse, I think. I don't really know exactly what the numbers are as far as what they put up tonight, if they put anything up tonight. So that's something that LW or my sister can talk about because they know those numbers. But as far as I know, it was a bit of a favor to them for their relationship that they've had with us that we've loved and enjoyed. I mean, they were friends with they came kind of through LW. He was on his modified car, and he had that relationship with them, and he literally handed that relationship off to Josh because of how much he believed in Josh. I mean, how often do you hear about basically one one guy racing the short tracks, the local short tracks, giving his sponsor, basically handing his sponsor over to another guy just because he believes in him. So LW was kind of winding his career down, and he saw this kid that had this all potential. So it's really worked out for Josh up to this point. Now, how do we get him into this series full time? How do we do that? That's really where we're at right now.
We'll go Bob and then Kenny, and then we'll finish up with Jim.
Bob Pocker, ESPN. Talking about where Josh goes in your program, where does Chase have races with you next year? And also Regan?
Chase wants to race. We'd love to race Regan full time. We have an opportunity to keep Regan if we can find some sponsorship there. So there's a lot of moving parts, and it's like this every year. Unfortunately, we don't have the multi-year partnerships on the in the traditional sense. Sometimes we do. But at the time, it's been year to year for the last several years, ever since we sort of had that correction, if you will, in the sport. But I'd love to keep working with Regan because he does such a great job for us, and he's a great friend of mine. I'd love to work with Chase next year. He has some interest in running some select events in the 88 car, or the All-Star car as we call it. So we'll see if that works out. Really, I have to talk to his boss man and see whether he even's going to allow him to run some Xfinity races for us. So, but Chase will run his late model, and he's definitely interested in running as many races as he can run and being behind the wheel and getting experience. So we'd love to keep working with him, but just because he's such a easy guy to work with, and he's got a great personality and a lot of talent. Yeah, the Sadler thing's I think the Sadler thing's cycling through the series, and we'll see where that ends up.
Okay, go over here, and then we'll finish up with Jim.
Bruce with NASCAR.com. Now, was Josh an LW find, or did you know him, or?
Yeah, I raced online with Josh, and he was racing his Legends car at the fairgrounds in Nashville. They didn't have a huge car count, but he was winning a lot of races, and we became real good friends online, racing together. And he wanted to race something else, and I told him that I'd give him a 2-race tryout in my late model. And I remember when he came down, we tested him. He lived with my mother, and lived with Willie and Mama for a couple months, and he tested and raced the car. And then we got him down here full time to race the late model. And I think LW, how long did he live with Willie? He lived there for about 3 months. Drove Mama crazy. But I got him. He had some odd jobs here and there, and helping in the shop and tearing cars down and doing everything we could to get him some money. And we raced the late model. LW was managing our late model program. We finally got to where Josh basically manages his car himself, and LW has became more of an asset, a huge asset, really, to the whole nationwide or Xfinity program. So it's been a good evolution, really. Just like I say, man, this next hurdle is the make or break for his career, and if what he did tonight can help us, we're definitely going to try to take advantage of that.
Jim.
JimMotherMotorsport.com. Talking about Chase, you've said all season that you guys were trying, that it's taken a little while for them to gel. I'm sure this win was a long time coming for Chase, but do you think it's anyway too late to get back into the mix of a repeat championship?
No, I mean, he's 21 points. That's nothing. I mean, that's one race. Something could happen. Anything could happen. And I feel like that with Regan too. I think Regan's still in it. I mean, you just never know. I mean, if our cars can get to where they're running this way, at least in the top 5 on a bad day, to lessen the damage done, because that 60 is going to have his days. He's going to run great at Dover and other places, but if they go to Dover again, but it's just, I think there's plenty of opportunity for sure. Chase put the pressure on this weekend. I think if I'm leading the points only by 21 points, and the guy just won and closed it down. I think that I got to start making sure I got everything going in the right direction because this guy's coming. And I wouldn't put, Regan out of it either, to be honest with you. They've been steadily one of our better cars all season. Regan has, and if our company as a whole sort of makes this advance in performance similar to what we saw tonight, I think that Regan can get up there and make some noise too.
Rides at Junior Motorsports, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Carson won tonight. Is there a ride available in her future?
She, yeah. I mean, she can do whatever she wants to do, whatever she puts her mind to doing. So I'm pretty proud of her, and she's got a great personality, and she does a great job behind the wheel. And the more she wants to do, the more I get excited about it. Hopefully, Wyatt wants to race cars, and LW can have a lot of fun with that. Hopefully, he's saving his money.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
and
guys.
good luck tomorrow.